Hello, everybody. This is Leo here with the Cohen Group Northwest, and it is just coming to the end of August. So I wanted to do a really quick recap on the market, give everyone an update because I've been hearing a lot of buzz as to is the market shifting? Is it a bad time to buy, good time to buy, good time to sell? Whatever the questions may be, there's a lot of question marks and I think a lot of uncertainty right now. But I wanted to just give some stats, some facts, so everybody has a better idea as to what is actually going on with the market this year compared to last year, where we are in regards to those numbers. So there's a couple factors that we're going to talk about today. The first is going to be obviously purchase price at that time last year versus this time. We're going to talk a little bit about appreciation, percentage of appreciation, things like that. And then also the last factor that's really going to impact whether or not people are buying homes is going to be their interest rates. So when interest rates get hiked up, that increases what their payments are going to be, and in turn it then makes their buying power a little bit less. So if interest rates go up by 1%, we're looking at roughly 10% in buying power. So that's something, if you've seen the market soften a little bit, soften is a word I'm going to use, because it's not that it is decreasing, it's just slowed a little bit in the amount that it is increasing. So that being said, wanted to talk a little bit about Whatcom County first as a whole. We're talking about residential and condominiums, so that's not including land or multifamily or anything like that. So this time last year, the average price point in Whatcom County was $343,000. At this time this year, so right now, the market, the average in Whatcom County has been $376,000. That's sales price. So we've gone up about $43,000 since this time last year. So if you bought a house last year, you've already made roughly $43,000, which is pretty wild just for buying a house. Pretty great. And so that's about an 8.7% increase. So if you're in the stocks or if you're in real estate or investments, 8.7% is actually a pretty good return on your investment. So that's just Whatcom County as a whole on average. So now Bellingham, if you purchased this time last year, obviously Bellingham is a little bit more of an expensive market, and the average price point at this time in August of 2017 was $380,000, and it's currently at $416,000. So we've appreciated at about 8.6%. So really leading the way in the appreciation in this area, but we also were more expensive than, say, Ferndale and Linden last year in Bellingham. So if you bought a house in Bellingham, on average, you're making right around $36,000 just for buying a house in August of 2017. Now the next little bit is Ferndale. Ferndale is actually the surprise here, but there's a lot of building going on up in Ferndale, so these numbers do make sense. But this time last year, Ferndale's average price point was at $329,000, and at this time right now, the current market average price point is $369,000. So we've gone up about 40 grand, and that's a 10.8% appreciation. So if you're looking at return on investment from an investment standpoint, 10.8% is by far the highest out of all of these areas. So Ferndale is actually appreciating even faster than Bellingham, because it did also start lower. But people, I think, are starting to realize Bellingham is expensive or more expensive, and so they're realizing that 15 minutes or 20 minutes to Ferndale, back and forth from Bellingham to Ferndale is not that bad. So that's why Ferndale, I think, is growing really fast. In alignment with all the new construction that's happening up there. Last really key area is Linden, because that's further north in the county, the biggest area further north in the county. And this time last year, Linden's average price point was $347,000, and it's jumped up to $389,000 as of August 2018, so this month. And that's pretty wild. That's a 10.7% increase. So you're seeing these areas that have a lot of new construction, new build, a lot of land that can be developed, and people are starting to realize that, Bellingham is a little bit too much for what we want to spend. We're able to drive a little further. We're okay with that 15 to 25 minutes. That's what I think is the increase in those price ranges. So and the appreciation. And so Linden has had an average of $42,000 in appreciation based on the price ranges that we're talking about. So that's the first part of what we're going to talk about right now. The second part is month supply, and that's really important because when we're talking about month supply, we're talking about if all of the houses that were currently on the market were sold and no new homes came on the market, how long would the current housing inventory last? And when you look at if it's going down, that means that the inventories going down, and that's also something that could be affected by interest rates, buyers, no new listings coming on the market, things like that. So Whatcom County as a total for month supply has gone down, right? Inventory has gone down. Bellingham is actually up. So contradictory to the other areas, Bellingham has gone up. So we've actually seen an increase because people are seeing that it's a good time to sell in month supply of inventory, which means that either prices are too high, people are backing off because of interest rates, whatever it may be, but that's up. Linden is actually down 20%. So the inventory in Linden has gone down, or the month supply has gone down by a lot, right? That means that the area is getting hotter. And then Ferndale is also down by 7%. So just a quick market update. I'm going to be doing these every single month because I think it's important to really get the conversation going as to what is going on with the market. What do these facts mean? If you buy a house, what happens as far as your return on your investment over the course of a year? What are the best areas to buy in from an investment standpoint or from a living standpoint? So if you guys have any questions, please private message me or call me 360-820-3434. Any questions about anything to do with real estate, I'm happy to explain these facts so we can help read the market a little bit better. Anyhow, I hope everyone's having a great day and this was useful. Any feedback, any comments, anything that you guys would like to hear more of or less of or explained a little bit better, I'm happy to do that because sometimes these numbers make a lot more sense to me since I'm doing this every day than it would to everybody else. So again, I hope this was useful and let me know if there's any questions.